Alrighty, hello today. This is Jacob here with Small Business Chat. Here joining me today is Mr. Brandon. Brandon, how are you doing today?
Man, I'm good. I'm good. It's great to be here.
Awesome. Good to be here too. I have him today to talk a little bit to you guys about the importance of business, of running your business efficiently, and also at the end, a little excerpt from Brandon about how important it is to trademark your business, which is also sponsored by the Trademark Company, where we help individuals like Brandon trademark his business so you can become official. So thank you again for joining me today, Brandon. Without further ado, just stepping into it, why did you first decide to start your own business and become an entrepreneur?
Man, I think it's something that I've always desired. I just did not know how to start. And as I got older, living in Los Angeles, California at that specific time, I was like, you know what, I've got to start my own business. And I've kind of always just known, from the very beginning that I was going to work for myself or work with other people.
Gotcha. Perfect. Awesome. Every business has a why, the reason why you choose, and maybe an unconventional route. Because obviously, as you know, just like any entrepreneur, a route the avenue of being an entrepreneur is not always exactly easy, because sometimes you're on your own for the most part until you obviously get more people on board. What is your why and why you are an entrepreneur?
I guess my why is why not, right? Why I do what I do. I do enjoy helping people. I've always known since a very young age that entertainment is everything to me, right? My main passion, I eat, breathe, and sleep, whether it's music, television, film, I just love it all.
Gotcha. Awesome. Yeah, that's a good explanation why, especially if you have a direct passion with something, as in regards to your music and everything.
Yes.
Whatever your passion is, sometimes you should make it a business. For example, I'm actually married. My wife, she has a passion for real estate, and helping people move into new homes, et cetera, et cetera. And her passion is that, so she became a real estate agent.
That's awesome.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. And so she's taken, that route, and she's that being, most people know being a real estate agent is, being an entrepreneur, because
right.
You might be represented by, a real estate company, but at the end of the day, they're not going to help you get leads. You got to go out and get your own leads.
Hey man, I come from a family of realtors. I know all about it.
Thank you. Yeah, exactly. So the struggles, and it's not very easy at all. So you gotta kind of just work with your people skills, and if you have people skills, then it does help you, like my wife does. So yeah, she's definitely had to go down that avenue. So alrighty, Brandon, for your next question I have here, what advice would you give someone just starting their own business? This is a very obvious question, but also most important. Every business owner has gone through that experience. And not everyone has, an idea or an outlook of what to do first. So what is maybe some advice you would give to somebody just starting out?
I mean, I think the main advice I have to give to anyone is make sure you understand who your core team is, right? Your team is everything. I mean, we're nothing without our team. There's no celebrity out there. There's no politician out there. There's no major entrepreneur out there without a great solid team. I mean, some of the names that pop into my mind: Mark Cuban, Grant Cardone, Justin Timberlake, Bieber, Usher, the list goes on, right? I think that ultimately, when you're starting your business, identifying, okay, especially if you're needing funding, right? Which pretty much every business owner that's starting up needs funding. Identifying what the problem in the marketplace is, and that you have developed or created the solution. I think that's what's going to help you in really obtaining the real assistance you need, and in understanding, okay, what is your mission statement? What is your brand? What are your core values? What you will tolerate, what you won't tolerate. Discipline is everything when speaking in the world of being an entrepreneur.
Gotcha. Perfect. Awesome. Thank you for explaining that. Like I said, again, not everyone knows exactly what to do when they first start out. Just like Brandon, you want to go out and kind of find people that are successful in their place of business and kind of go from there. Like, he was just naming out a few, like Grant Cardone and others, Mark Cuban, because those people are successful. Also, Brandon, I think you know this already. I'm an account manager at the trademark company, so I do help people like yourself with getting trademarked. And all of those, some people are not established business owners and some are, and sometimes those business owners say that they got all their inspiration from a certain person, just like Grant Cardone or
Right.
even et cetera. So you start there, which is looking for people that are already successful, like Brandon and others. And you go from there. If you want to try to reach out to them somehow, or just listen to if they have podcasts, or if they have a YouTube channel. Most people do nowadays that they release free information like this, and you just start from there. Maybe if they have books, or if they have some sort of articles online talking about how they first started out. Dwayne The Rock Johnson has a really great success story. Arnold Schwarzenegger has another really great success story of how he started from nothing and got to where he is now.
For sure, they do. Absolutely.
Exactly. So they started from somewhere just like you, and now look at them now. They're very successful people. So I would just like Brandon says, I would recommend start from there. Next question here, Brandon. Where do you see your business in 5 to 10 years? No entrepreneur, is ever done growing their business. So I know I'm pretty 100% sure you're not stopping where you're at. It's an ongoing journey with, ever-changing goals and aspirations, but, everyone has their own visions. So where do you think you'll be, or where your business will be in 5 to 10 years, Brandon?
Without question, I don't think that I'll ever be content or satisfied or feel that I've arrived and evolved, right? And this is the end all. I think I'm always going to be seeking outside of the box methods, looking at ways to pivot, especially with the evolving of technology with AI. Like, how can I integrate it into my business? How can I make it more of an experience bridging the gap of bringing the worlds of entertainment, sports, and technology together? I do see us as a household name that is, without question, people around the world, various countries, are speaking about the abilities and the uniqueness that IMA brings to the table. And, regarding my podcast, On Air with Brandon J, you guys helped with, I'd already filed the trademark. And then I was like, but you know what? I want to make sure that I get this successfully completed. And because you guys are out of Cary, North Carolina, right outside of Raleigh, I was like, you know what? You're practically in my backyard, being from Columbia, South Carolina, born and raised, and being, involved in the community. I thought it was a very solid move for me to contact you guys, and you guys have just been super awesome. But, to sum it up, with On Air with Brandon J, a podcast that features all things Hollywood, entertainment news, sports, entrepreneurs, trending news, all things Hollywood related. My ultimate goal is syndication, but not just syndication from the USA perspective, the United States. I'm looking at global syndication. I want to really tap in and engage with those audiences, not just in my backyard being the USA. However, I want to tap into Canada, the UK, Latin America, the Middle East, Asia, and the list goes on. Awesome. Well put, Brandon. You want to expand even further? You have a great vision for where your business is heading. I'm pretty sure Brandon doesn't have to answer this question, but I'm assuming he probably already does have whether it's on paper or it's some sort of roadmap of where your starting position is now and where you want to be here in a few years, and what does that end result look like? And that end result could look like, I want to grow my business. If you have like a podcast, or maybe even your business subscribers, or even have this amount of many customers at the end of 2026 or something. It's kind of absolutely. And also it's important, and I forgot to add this key caveat to the table, but I would say to all of you out there that are listening, viewing it, listening, whether it's audio, video, however you're getting this message, I think it's imperative to have that executive summary, to know who your core team is, to know your SWOT analysis, to know, your 5-year projections. I think if we do not have an idea of that being established, it's going to be very difficult to obtain the goal. Now, once again, it's a goal. Are we going to accomplish everything? Chances are no. However, nothing is impossible when you put your mind to it. So I think that by having that 5-year plan, you're a heck of a lot closer to accomplishing your goal versus if you don't have any idea of where you're going.
Exactly. Well put, Brandon. Very well put there. Like I said, you don't want to just go willy-nilly and just have like no end in sight. Not saying that it's an end necessarily, but it's some sort of strategy to get to a certain goal. And obviously, as being an entrepreneur like Brandon is, and like others, and especially whoever's ever watching now, is that you'll always be hungry. There will always be more that you'll be wanting, but to be able to get to specific milestones or stones here in this case scenario, you want to at least have some sort of plan for it. So again, really good information you just fed us.
Absolutely. You said it right there.
Exactly. Awesome. So next question I got for you, Brandon. And this is kind of getting more into what you do, because I really do want to, not only for myself, but also everyone else out there that's interested in hearing more from you. I'm going to leave also some links into the description of this podcast, everyone, for everything that you can see from Brandon. He's got a lot of great podcasts and a lot of great information out there for everyone to listen to. But Brandon, how do you set your business apart from others in your same industry?
Well, man, I think I'm like a hybrid, right? I've never been someone that you can place in a box. I don't believe God puts us in a box. We can't place God in a box because that's just impossible. And I don't think that I can be placed in a box. I'm always looking at how can I evolve and become a better version of myself. And once again, I don't have all the answers, but I do have a good grasp of what's coming in the near future. I'm blessed with the people I have on my team. I think some of the things that people don't understand is like, what is IMA? So IMA Entertainment is a full service marketing and production distribution corporation when it comes to music, television, and films. We are dabbling into various other arenas such as AI, technology, crypto, of course, racing. We've got our own race team, IMA Racing. James Bondurant is our driver. We're putting those specifics together now, and it's taken longer than anticipated or expected. However, I'm grateful for the delay because of all of the amazing, brilliant, talented people that have crossed us in our path along the way. So I think ultimately that is where we're going. For anybody that wants to connect with me directly, the best way is social media at I am Brandon J. I'm on all social media. My highest engagement has been with Instagram. And Instagram is such a unique platform because 80% of the American population has an Instagram account. So if that doesn't speak numbers, I don't know what does.
Perfect. Great way to connect is always, again, Instagram for him and other social media platforms. Brandon obviously would love to speak to anyone that ever wants to be involved with him. Same for us as well. Brandon hit it right on the head there, that a great way to reach out to us is also social media on our Facebook channel. Also, we have our YouTube channel too that you can feel free to reach out to us on. And then obviously we have an open company line as well. Obviously Brandon got a hold of us at some point, so you should too. I
called the phone number and I just started having a conversation with you guys.
Exactly. And also for anybody that's looking for that information, we've been in business for over 25 years. So we're actually one of the very first companies to ever start helping folks like Brandon and other businesses get their business official. So we have a lot of information on our side. Our owner was actually a former U.S. Patent and Trademark Office attorney back in the day, and he used to be able to help people back in the day as just a lawyer and attorney, and then that's where he came up with this and came up with this company to help others on a larger scale than just individually. So again, we have a lot of information on our side. So awesome. Thank you, Brandon, for answering that question. Next one I got for you. How did you market your business when it was brand new? This is actually a really good question I want to ask you, because this will kind of help, especially if people are tuning into this video right now that's maybe a marketer of themselves, or if they're just a business themselves. One of the hardest things, you can definitely agree on this one, Brandon, is you have your business, you have an amazing idea, you have exactly what you need to help people or service people or sell your product, but man, nobody is out there is listening. Nobody is out there purchasing from my website for the product that I own, or the list goes on. Without a great marketing team, nobody's going to be able to see you, and if nobody's going to be able to see you, you're not going to be able to make any profit. So Brandon, yeah, tell me exactly how you first started marketing your business.
Man, I think the marketing thing, I mean, for all of those that don't understand marketing, and marketing has always been something that's been very close to my heart, because I studied it in college, and I really understood and learned what the 4 P's of product, price, place, and promotion are. And identifying what your product is, what you're charging your consumers, having that real engagement with your customers. And right now we're in 2024. I think the best way to communicate with your potential audience, with your customer base, is social media. I mean, everybody's on social media, right? Call it a form of entertainment, call it a massive distraction, call it the thing that has killed our attention spans, or why we only want to be watching a 7-second reel looping over and over and over. And I think ultimately social is where it's at. Word of mouth is the most powerful form of advertisement. So when you speak to your core audience and then they start speaking about it, that's really going to amplify the scenario. If you're going to get that real engagement and really tap into the algorithms that Instagram, Facebook, X, now known as Twitter, YouTube, you've got to be looking at spending advertising into those platforms. And I think that's a great way to really amp up the reach of the accounts reached, the impressions received, the likes, the comments, the views, but most importantly, make sure it is organic traffic. And I can't state this enough. And I'll leave this caveat with you as well. I think this is imperative, especially for those that are in the music business, watching and listening to this interview. Authenticity triumphs over everything. I think that when we try to sample something or use something, and this is why trademarks and patents are so vital. And I am a huge advocate on trademarks. I've even purchased the Trademarks for Dummy book, learning about the Layman Act and learning about the 3-year policy and the 6 months and things of that nature. But I think that ultimately, if you're going to get a trademark done, you want to consult people that know what they're doing. The trademark company is a great entity. When you're talking, let's dabble into music licensing, right? So I'm a record producer and I want to dabble in, and I want to take a beat, a sample from Timbaland or Brian Michael Cox or Lil Jon or Jazzy Faye, or the list goes on, right? Those names just popped into my head because we're doing this interview right now. Samples are very, very critical to make sure that you have the clearance and the rights. And that's the same thing with a trademark. Like a trademark, what is a trademark doing? It's protecting my name, my image, my likeness under that specific name. What is that name? Well, in the case of the trademark company, On Air with Brandon J. That means that nobody can use that specific terminology, that language, that name without my authorized written consent. I don't even say verbal, because verbal consent doesn't exist in the court of law, but written consent is everything. If you're an athlete, if you're an artist, all of you guys out there need a trademark, or you're going to have people trying to attach themselves to a vehicle, to a fast train that's already moving. Think of yourself as a train when you've got real engagement, when you got things moving. And if you don't have that protection, you're gonna be out of luck, and you could be potentially losing thousands, if not millions of dollars. So it's imperative. I can't say this enough, but back to the licensing. So there's a hearing, and you can go and look this up online, right? And a TikToker, famous TikToker, used a sample of a song. Do you now know he has to pay $802,000 back because of generated Spotify royalties, because he didn't have the proper clearance? And he's like, well, I'll clear it when the record gets moving. No, you want to have all of this stuff locked in before you launch your brand. If you can have your trademark, if you can have all of your branding, your colors, your schemes, your design, your layout, have all of it already locked in. Don't wait till the last minute. I think it's imperative.
Awesome. Yeah, good stuff there, Brandon. With the last thing you just said there is definitely very imperative. Do not wait to the last minute, because if you do, then you're going to regret it, and that's going to screw up your entire flow. Talk about starting off on the wrong foot. You do not want to not protect what you have. It's kind of like...
No, you don't. And it takes about a year once you start the process of filing the trademark to actually complete it and actually get the certificate.
Exactly.
That gives you a trademark for 5 years. It takes you a year anyway. So start now, because you may not be wanting to launch for a year, but by the time you launch, you will already have that trademark, and it will be already filed with the United States Patent and Trademark Office.
Exactly. That's why you want to start early and often. The good news is, and not a lot of everyone knows this, but after you actually get that trademark application on file, you actually are already generally protected at that point, because you filed something, and it's like going to like a carnival or like some sort of fair and trying to ride a ride. As soon as you get in line, then everyone else that could be potentially conflicting yours is behind you. So you don't have to worry about anyone else.
You get that VIP wristband.
Yeah, exactly. Get that VIP wristband. Skip the line, Yeah. And so
I'm getting that from Disney when I go.
Exactly. I should have got that for Universal when I went. I stayed in line for hours. It was terrible.
Man, oh man. And did you go when it was hot outside?
Oh yeah. Yep. Exactly.
So I literally got sunburnt waiting to meet Woody with family, and I literally was sunburnt waiting out there for like 45 minutes. Had I had a park hopper pass, I probably wouldn't have had that problem.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's another, if you're looking to, become a better business owner and entrepreneur, that's 98% of the video. The other 2%
yes.
is where if you're going to stand in line, get the wristband or invest in sunscreen. That's probably the...
There you go. So this turned into okay, Brandon, get your SPF going. And I could have had sunscreen on, right? But after 45 minutes, 50 minutes in that Florida heat with that humidity, it just hit me.
Yeah, exactly. And for some reason, the heat hits differently in Florida, and then also, Disney World. So yeah, definitely 100%.
Dude, South Carolina, North Carolina, man, we get the humidity. It is hot and humid in the South for a reason.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, we're going through a heat wave right now. It just went from 0 to 100. Yesterday it was cold. Right now it's like 70, 80 degrees, and my AC is cranked. So
that's it, man. That's it.
Awesome. Well, yeah, just going back to, again, the importance of trademarking, like Brandon said before. I always love to kind of compare this, because sometimes people just need more examples and something to relate to. I kind of use it as like a security system for your house, right?
For sure.
Not everyone obviously needs a security system. It's not my major point, but you generally should get a security system because of how the day and age that we currently live in, which is unfortunate, but that's another topic for another day. So the security system you buy, obviously your first set of security system is your locks on your door, right? Your garage door and everything else. So that could be, getting your business formed into an LLC or corporation, right? So that's your first set. Your next set should be possibly getting a camera or two, maybe at your front door. Could be, getting a camera over the door or your garage door or something to see if anybody comes over that area, so getting that security system set up is paramount. Maybe the next thing you want to do is get some window detectors. If a window gets broken or something, maybe you want to see if somebody breaks through a window, you know exactly what to do. Hiring a company that if something were to happen like that, they immediately send law enforcement your way, and you don't even really have to think about it. They're there to back you up. this
There
exact
you go. It's
same
always
thing.
good to have a backup plan for sure.
Exactly. That's the same exact thing that Brandon was talking about before, where it's paramount, because you don't know when you need it as great as when it actually happens and hits you in the face. So you want
For sure.
to exactly have that prepared, so when something does happen, your legal side of things is backed up. Obviously, in this case scenario, that would be us, because we'd love to help out anyone, especially if you're watching this video, help you with that side of the process, which legal, as Brandon can see, legal stuff is very tasking, and sometimes a lot of people don't even know what they're doing because it's the government. It's always difficult to deal with them. Alrighty, so
It is. That was a mouthful, but I couldn't say it any better.
Exactly. Thank you, Brandon. Next question for you, Brandon. What is your favorite part about being an entrepreneur? So like following, up with, preparing for the worst or also hoping for the best. Not everyone has, exactly, again, that path, but also some people just need true inspiration to become an entrepreneur. And then also backing up that question, with having favorite parts, what do you think an entrepreneur should possess, or qualities they should possess to make them a better entrepreneur?
Okay, so being an entrepreneur is everything to me. So I think that ultimately, when you're an entrepreneur, you have the ability to constantly create, and nobody puts a cap on what you're worth or ceiling on how much you can make. The sky's the limit. I mean, look at Mark Zuckerberg from Meta, Facebook, out of Harvard University, then going to Silicon Valley, then meeting Peter Thiel, the whole story, then going public. Now Meta, like, he is ranked, I think Forbes said, the 4th wealthiest individual on the earth because of what he's done. So there's no ceiling, there's no cap, there's no limitation. Nothing is impossible. I said it earlier. Some of the qualities that I think it's imperative that an entrepreneur has, right? Being self-sustained, driven, motivated, focused, very good with people. I think that having the ability to be really solid and being able to respond and communicate with people where people can relate to you, I think that's everything, especially if you're launching a product like a health and wellness system. They got to be able to relate to you, right? We got to see case studies. We got to see things of that nature. So definitely being driven, though. Being an entrepreneur is not easy. It's the most difficult thing ever. If you pay attention to who Gary Vee is on social media, he speaks from the heart about this, and he makes it kind of comical and kind of raunchy at the same time with language and things like that. But it's so true and vital and necessary. You have to pick yourself up. You have to, like an Aaliyah song, dust yourself off and try again. Entrepreneurs will fail over and over and over. It is the ones that maintain the discipline, that say, you know what, F everything, forget what all the naysayers are saying. I know that I've got this. I've had this vision. Nothing is going to stop me. I'm on course. I mean, I feel like I'm in a church right now, man. But to sum it up, guys,
preach, man.
You can tell. I'm sure you can feel the passion, the intensity over the phone as we're talking. Like, I eat, breathe, and sleep this. Like, nobody out there, I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're a billionaire, trillionaire, millionaire, whatever, is going to tell me I can't do something. Nothing is impossible.
Awesome. Very good quote from Pursuit of Happiness with Will Smith.
There it is. And I'm not quoting it, but it's true, right? It's biblical, and I'm not going to push religion on anybody, but it's just something that I live by. It's part of my daily mantra, per se.
I'm right there in agreement with you, Brandon, not to get too religious either, but I'm right there with you. If you have, again, I'm not trying to preach it either, but obviously if you have that extra part of it on your side, it does greatly help. It kind of helps you grow your business in other ways that you never would have thought. And if you have that going for you, that's awesome. And if you like to dedicate that or of your successes to that, definitely got to thank number one. So definitely.
Absolutely. Yeah. First and foremost, God. Everything is God. Everything is from God. He's the provider. So there it is.
Exactly. 100%. We have a little session or section of our videos, Brandon, that I like to dip into, which is what I call rapid fire questions. So these are going to be questions. I'm just going to ask you real quick. You don't have to really take too much time on them because that's the whole point of rapid fire. But who is your biggest role model?
My biggest role model are those entrepreneurs out there that have not stopped, that are continuing to fight for what's right.
Awesome. So your Mark Zuckerbergs, your, like you just said, Mark Cubans. And also, I think you said something about it before. Again, with either successes or things that aren't a success. Sometimes, not. You think Mark Zuckerberg 100% went through his entire career and not had one screw up or one mess up or somebody out there telling him and it's not going to work. You're going to get that no matter what. And so Brandon,
that's it. Richard Branson said he surrounds himself around smarter people in the areas where he's less competent.
Exactly.
So there's a Forbes article, Richard Branson. I'm surrounding myself around smarter people.
Exactly. So when you do that, and especially with, again, people that are, there's always going to be naysayers. If you push past those naysayers and are able to just kind of just have a healthy mindset going forward with that, that's only going to help you in the long run. Because again, everyone gets told no, everyone gets told that it's not going to work. And it's those people like Brandon, like Mark Zuckerberg, and all those other successful people out there that obviously all of them have been able to get through that too. Just like, for example, like Arnold Schwarzenegger was told that he sounds funny, that nobody's going to like his character. Nobody's going to like the way he talks because it's not going to appeal to the American movie watchers. And look at him now. He's has been one of the biggest, actors in Hollywood for a long time.
The Super Bowl commercial, the State Farm commercial.
Oh, I love that one, and especially in the helicopter.
Yeah, but it's exactly what you just said. Like, he got made fun of and all these things, but now he's making millions off of that very same thing that people made fun of him.
Exactly. Well put. And also another friend of his, going back to, again, not having, successes sometimes, and also people putting you down. One of my favorite movie quotes of all time, Brandon, shout out if you've ever seen this movie, Rocky 6. Have you seen that one?
Oh yeah, man. Rocky, yes.
Rocky 6. There is this one part of the video, or the movie, sorry, that he's talking to his son, and every single time I see this scene, I get a little emotional. But he talks about, obviously, his son is not so fond of him going out and fighting again, because it's going to compromise his identity when he's already making an identity for himself, and it's going to put attention on his son. And his son's very upset with him for that exact reason. But at Rocky giving all of his advice, he said, son, life's not a full bunch of sunshine and rainbows. People are going to beat you to your knees until they keep you permanently if you let it. But it takes a real man to be able to get up from those naysayers and just kind of push through that and get to where you need to be. His exact words were, that if it's not about how hard you hit, it's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. It's how much you can take and keep moving forward. As you've seen in all the Rocky movies, he takes quite a beating in the face.
Hey, look at Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali would talk and take so many hits, and then pummel his opponent because they would be, exhausted after all of that at the end of the fight.
Exactly. And then you have harder hitters like Mike Tyson, who can just go up to you and hit you one time in the face and you're down, so
yeah, he could break your jaw. And
he can break your jaw. Exactly. Are you looking forward to this Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson fight? Are you interested?
I knew you were going to ask me that. I was like, okay, I'm waiting for it. Here's my thing, right? Tyson is a legend. And so I think if Jake Paul isn't careful, Tyson could really hurt Jake Paul. So I think it'll be an interesting fight, to say the least.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's kind of a love and hate relationship I have with Jake Paul, because I do think he's annoying, just like his other brother, but I do feel that he's very interesting to watch. It's just like Conor McGregor. Like he is really entertaining to watch fight, but most of the entertainment comes from him running his mouth.
Well, that's it. It's entertaining. I mean, they're brilliant in their own right when it comes to marketing, when it comes to social media, getting people to talk about them. But when it comes down to the legends, that's like him going up against, let's say he's playing basketball, right? And he goes up against Michael Jordan right after the Michael Jordan retired. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he may be retired, but I still wouldn't go up against Michael Jordan.
Exactly.
Or Kobe. Anybody that has that Mamba mentality.
Exactly. You never forget how to ride a bike. So
That's
these
it.
people were Lance Armstrongs in their time. So awesome. Next rapid fire question, Brandon, and then we'll go ahead and wrap this up here. What makes a good leader in your opinion?
A good leader is someone that is willing to lead by setting the right example, right? So if I ask you to do something, I've already shown you. So you're a witness as to me showing you. If I'm, for example, if I delegate you a responsibility, I'm like, take out the trash, just randomly, right? And I don't take out the trash as the leader telling you to take out the trash, there's a problem there. I think I have to be willing to take out the trash if I want other people to take out the trash.
Exactly. Lead a good example,
That's
and
it.
others will follow. And I can't
Be the change.
Exactly. If if you see your boss working twice as hard as you, and that kind of inspires you to do the exact same, because who's a leader, or if your boss is the leader, then if you want your own employees to do the exact same thing, or even work harder than you, then you got to lead by example. So yeah,
That's it, man. Lead by setting the right example. Couldn't say any better.
Awesome. Next and final rapid fire question for you, I have for you, Brandon. Have you ever taken out a business loan? And if you have, would you recommend it?
I have taken out a business loan, and I think that ultimately the SBA, Small Business Administration, .gov, they are awesome at what they do. I understood that by doing this was years ago, that I would have to have the right business plan, as I touched on earlier in this interview. So make sure you have all of your ducks in a row, so that when that you're prepared, so that when the opportunity meets the preparation, equals a successful outcome and a successful result.
Gotcha. Awesome. Perfect. Well put, Brandon. I really appreciate that. And as we close things out, I do want to say also again, we will be leaving a link here that directs you right over to Brandon. So if you love especially everything that he's been talking about so far in this video, just go ahead and click on the link in the description here. It'll take you right over to him, so you can watch absolutely everything that he has come out with for the past couple of years. So everything's going to be in the description. Brandon, yourself, I really appreciate you today. Thank you so much for not only being on the podcast and being with me today, but also talking to our audience, anyone else that listens, to just really, again, start their business right here, right now, get their business trademarked right here, right now, so that they can become official. So thank you again for your advice and your information. I hope that we can do another collab soon. So because I had a lot of fun today. But again, here's going to be the link here in the description. Go check this out now. If you have a new product launching, if you have any other ideas, or if you want to share any of your ideas, we are starting some new videos. If you have a product that's launching, like I said, again, we're actually going to start doing reviews of products as well. So if anyone who wants to reach out to us for our next podcast or our next video, please go ahead and contact us as soon as you can, so that we can get that video set up for you. Brandon, do you have anything to say to anyone as we close this out?
I was just going to say thank you so much for having me. Thank you to you and your entire team at the Trademark Company for all of your assistance. I've learned that if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So I will be using you guys on a regular.
Yes, perfect. Awesome. We'd love that, Brandon. We'd love nothing more than that. And just to also tell you as well, my company, and also my owner more so, obviously myself too, one of the biggest things that we really started this company for in the first place was to help people achieve the American dream. So we hope that we did help you achieve that as well, Brandon. So we really appreciate you saying that about us, and we'd love to help more people like Brandon as well. So thank you for everyone that's listening. Thank you, Brandon, and we hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Thank you.
Thank you.